In the vast and intricate tapestry of Dungeons and Dragons, whispers of forgotten lore beckon from the shadows. These are tales not spun from the mainstream scrolls, but carved into the forbidden pages of renegade volumes. From the hidden archives of Kobold Press, we unveil the chilling chronicles of the Tome of Beasts. Today, coming in at the 4th spot of some of the most terrifying D&D monsters, I have combined 3, since we are taking a look at non-official third-party D&D material from the Tome of Beasts by Kobold Press. There are some wonderful monsters in this book, and today, 3 terrible ones. Starting us off with the Mordant Snare. Mordant snares were created by war mages of ancient times. Each resembles an immense dark gray 11-armed starfish weighing 8 tons. And yet a Mordant snare is never obvious. Instead, it controls a few humanoids shuffling about aimlessly, their skin glistening with moisture, occasionally forming loose groups near the snare. These puppets paid little attention to their surroundings. Mordant snares are puppet masters. They bury themselves under loose soil to attack creatures walking above them. Extremely stealthy, they extrude filaments from themselves that inject acid into the victims. This liquefies the victim's organs and muscles while leaving the skeleton, tendons, and skin intact. With the body thus hollowed out and refilled with acid and filaments, the Mordant snare controls the creature like a puppet, creating a group of awkward, disoriented people. The Mordant snare prefers intelligent food. With tremor sense, it can easily distinguish between prey. A Mordant snare hunts an area until it is empty. A village can suffer tremendous losses or even be completely wiped out before discovering what's happening. When a snare is discovered, it abandons its puppets, burrows deep underground, and seeks a new home. Essentially, the Mordant snare is a burrowing puppet master. It does not typically do the fighting itself. Instead, it controls up to 4 bodies per tentacles, of which it has 11. This makes for a terrifying sight. Creatures which are husks of themselves, still pierced through a tentacle in the ground, shuffling around, waiting to do the snare's bidding. Even if you're able to fight all of the puppets that it controls above ground, a terrifying experience, this creature is still a gargantuan, 8-ton behemoth that can burrow away to plot its revenge at any moment. And if you slip up for even one moment, it will grapple, restrain, kill, and take you as a puppet. The second beast from the Tome of Beasts is the Suture Fly. These darting creatures resemble dragonflies, but with 3 pairs of gossamer wings and a body made from splintered wood. There's not much to these things besides a very terrifying ability: sew mouths shut. Forest folk rarely speak when suture flies dart through the trees, because these creatures listen for lies, and sew any offender's mouth, nose, and eyes shut. Some say the old woods hide nothing but liars, and that is why the deepest forest is shrouded in silence. Others say that the forest uses suture flies to smother those who break its covenants or reveal its secrets. Adventurers see a suture fly's handiwork more often than they glimpse one of the creatures directly. Corpses with mouths, noses, and eyes stitched shut. Mysterious children whose mouths are ringed with black puncture marks observe intruders from afar, and dryads step from the trees, their eyes sewn shut against the evils of civilization. The abilities of the suture fly include detect blasphemy. Any creature that blasphemes aloud must make a saving throw. If failed, with supernatural speed, the suture fly repeatedly pierces the target's face, each time threading a loop of the target's own skin through the previous hole. These skin loops rapidly blacken, shrink, and draw the orifice tightly closed, causing intense pain and slashing damage. A victim whose mouth and nose have been sewn shut begins suffocating. These things aren't very powerful, with a CR of just 1/4, but that CR of 1/4 can at any point with a failed saving throw so your mouth, eyes, or nose completely shut in the blink of an eye, causing you to begin suffocating. In a whole swarm of these things, if you said something particularly blasphemous, or a lie particularly egregious, you'll be struggling to breathe with too many flies to fight off. And finally, one of my favorite monsters from the Tome of Beasts, the Grim Jester, simply described as a skeletal cadaver bedecked in the motley attire of a fool capers about while making jokes that mock mortality. This undead skeleton dressed as a jester is much more powerful than you might expect. When a jester on his deathbed moves an evil god of death to laughter, the fool sometimes gains a reprieve. He or she becomes a grim jester whose pranks and merriment serve to entertain the god of death. Their purpose is to bring an end to mortal lives in a gruesome, comical, and absurd manner. As long as such jesters keep the death god amused, their continued unlife is assured. A grim jester's killing jokes are not necessarily funny to their victims, but they offer a grim finality in combat. A killing joke might be absurd, such as meta comments about the game, like "I remember the days when a finger of death killed people," or "Your footwork is atrocious and your spells lost its focus, your party's no match for my hocus pocus." Others might be high-flown, such as "Mortal, your time has come, the bell within your skull does ring ding-dong dead." Grim jesters are famous for grim, bitter mockery, such as "Your blood on fire, your heart pumps its last, show me now a hero's last gasp," or "Odin's raven has come for you, the Valkyries were busy, you lose, mortal." Rarely does a grim jester's mockery entertain the living, but gods of death, chained angels, and most demons find them quite amusing. Nothing as terrifying as an undead creature with absolutely nothing to lose and only seeking from you your own death so it can make a snide remark and laugh in the face of your demise. Some of its abilities are Killing Joke. The jester performs an ancient nihilistic joke of necromantic power. Those that fail fall prone in a fit of deadly laughter. The laughter lasts some time, 1d4 rounds, during which the victim is incapacitated. At the end of each turn, you can try to save again. Another terrifying ability is Ridicule Hope, and when a spell that restores hit points is cast within the range of the jester, they can cause this to inflict damage instead of curing it, a reaction that would certainly end in a quick death of a character. They have many more magical abilities and tricks, and they always get the last laugh, unless it is destroyed in a manner amusing to the god of death that created it, a difficult task. The Grim Jester is brought back in a place of the god's choosing. And with nothing to lose, your death may be the next joke it seeks to tell. As we draw back the veil over these horrors, remember, the realms of Dungeons & Dragons are rife with both wonder and terror. Tales we've unveiled today, thanks to the depths of Kobold Press's enigmatic Tome of Beasts, are but a mere glimpse into the shadowed corners of the multiverse. These creatures' histories, their malevolent desires now linger in your mind, becoming part of your own D&D story. May the haunting echoes of the grim jesters in today's journey serve as a chilling reminder of the mysteries that remain, waiting to be discovered.